Hello, good morning, or evening, or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Greetings. Right, I got really bored with my historical miniatures, painting them day after day, same old stuff. So over the weekend I made a diorama. I got my few pieces from Highland Miniatures on eBay, 3D printed prints, and got stuck in. Did a little bit of fishing when did I go? Yesterday. I went out yesterday. I didn't get out over the weekend because of the weather. Some people did, but it just felt better to stay indoors in such bad weather and get on with this diorama. It's called The Last Stand, and I really enjoyed every minute of it. It was something completely different. I actually got into building the diorama and not just painting. I'll show you it on the video. We'll go through it and you can have a look. I hope you enjoy it. And I think I'm going to be doing more of them. My wife did actually purchase the 3D printer yesterday, but I'm not allowed to have it until Christmas Day. And she wouldn't even tell me if she bought the Elegoo Mars 2 Pro or the Elegoo Mars 2 Mono. So I ain't bothered which one it is. I just hope she remembered to get some resin to go with it. So what I'll do, I'll buy a litre, of the washable resin. I like the idea of that. You don't have to buy all these wash stations then to go with the 3D printer. I can just wash it underwater. I will have to get a current station though, a UV light station. But then saying that, my daughter is a nail technician. She paints people's fingernails. So I've seen a few 3D printing guys use the ultraviolet things that you put your nails under. So I'll have a word with her and see if she's got one or knows of one that miniatures will fit in. Because on the resin printer, all I'm making is miniatures. Buildings and terrain will be on the filament printer after Christmas. So I just want to get to know how to use this one first. Anyway, enough waffling from me. I've got a lot to do today. Now I've finished my diorama, I'll get back on with the miniature painting. So we'll be painting English Civil War 28mm Warlord Games, the Royalists. So here's a video of the diorama. I hope you all enjoy it. Thanks for watching. So here it is then, my next project I'll be working on. It's by Highland Miniatures. It's called The Last Stand from the Sunland Empire collection. And I bought this off eBay off a really nice guy, came across really friendly and helpful. And that was Molson Miniatures. So well worth paying him a visit. He's got a lovely shop on eBay and loads of miniatures in it. I was quite impressed, I have to say. But I'm really looking forward to getting this sorted out. I've got a bit bored with painting historical wargaming figures, like I said in my last video. So a breath of fresh air, a small diorama. It's all 3D printed stuff. Never painted resin before. We'll get it downstairs, we'll get it washed, and then we'll get it primed up. And then we'll talk about putting the base on a base. Obviously I want a bigger base because I want to put a few other things on it. Hopefully a few more dead knights, because I've got 3 other dead knights with this set. So it's well worth the money I paid. Really happy with it. And I'd also like to put a mounted knight on the base. But we'll talk more about that later, hopefully. So this is this week's project. I say this week's project, that just means I'm starting on it this week, because no doubt I'm going to go fishing at some point, and then I'm going to want to go fishing again at some point. So yeah, we'll get it done when we get it done. But hopefully, I don't really want to spend more than a week on it, so I'm excited to get stuck into it. Let's just go in closer and we'll see if we can pick out some detail. I'm looking forward to painting them. I might stick 1 or 2 arrows sticking in bodies and ground here and there. Not loads, I literally mean 2 or 3. And then there's 2 holes at the back here where the archway plugs into, and the standard bearer is standing there under the archway in front of the 3 dead knights. This is the standard bearer. There's a nice big griffin on the standard to paint, amongst other detail. Obviously there's a little bit of clean up to do where the supports were, but I could just clip them off with my clippers, and if need be get a little file and just rub it down so it's not there. This is the archway. Plenty of detail on there to paint. This is going to be a nice little project, a nice little break from the ins and outs of ordinary miniature painting day after day. So yeah, hopefully I can add 2 more dead knights, because I've got another 3. The same poses that you can see in front of you. There's another 3 loose ones came with this set. And I will also hope to add a mounted knight to the diorama. So that'll be good. Anyway, let's get these downstairs, let's get them primed, and then we can start painting. Well, I give it a coat or 2 of primer, let it dry, and I've now blocked in the base colours. I'm sorry about the music, it's the DJ. He's here for the weekend, and there's nothing I can do about his music. Unless it absolutely drives me to the point of insanity where well, we won't talk about that. But yeah, so I've painted it like I just said. The colour I've used on the stonework is dark Prussian blue and dark, is it just dark grey or dark? Yeah, dark grey. Those 2 colours 50-50 mixed together is what I've done the base stonework in, the cobblestones, etc. And then I've used a dark sea grey, which is a light grey, to do the rest of the building. And yeah, it's all looking good. I could have waited until the DJ had stopped playing his music to do the video, but I want to get on with the next stage because this is nearly dry. So the next stage is a coat of Citadel Newland oil wash, which is a black wash all over it. Brilliant. Let's crack on. Right then, I've given it a wash of Newland oil, a heavy wash as well. Took a while to dry. While I was waiting for it to dry, I got thinking, and before you knew it, I'd made a base for it. So if I just zoom out a little bit, you'll see what I mean. Oh, it's getting a bit dark. But there you go. You see my finger? This area here will all be cobblestones to fit in with the base of the arch. This piece here will also be cobblestones, but we'll have all the ruins from this side of the arch, and they'll be falling down into what will be water. I'll have resin coming round in there, I've decided. and a wooden plank bridge here going on to the cobblestones, and something nice on that bridge, hopefully. So that's where I am at the moment. The next stage is dry brushing and highlighting. Then we can do weathering and things like that. So I'll get on with the dry brushing. Well, I've done that, and now here's a progress update so far. I've got on a little bit, which is really good. And I've added a fourth dead man in the rubble. The rubble there is to represent the right half of the archway that has collapsed and fallen into the water there. I've added a shield, which is probably off the guy leaning over the rubble. And this guy here, I've added a shield too. I'm just waiting to see if it focuses. It's a bit dodgy. And I've laid the cobblestones. And we've given the coat of paint and a newland oil wash. And we've painted round the edge of that, where the rocks are in grey. The rubble looks fine. And I'm now painting the base of the water, the moat. And we'll have a little drawbridge come over. So we've got about 8 posts to go in, if I remember correctly. And we'll put some chain fencing up as well. So yeah, everything's coming on a treat. So we'll just wait for that wash to dry. And then we'll hit everything, the cobblestones that is, with some dry brushing. When the grey paint has dried on the rubble and round the edge on the rocks there, we can give that a wash of newland oil and then dry brush that. It's coming on a treat. Well, I've got that done and I've cracked on. I've cracked on well, actually. I've got the cobblestones all dry brushed. I've got the rocks around underneath the cobblestones all dry brushed. I've got the wooden bridge put in. I've got the posts put in and chain put on the posts. That's all to be painted and washed. The chain's way too shiny. I've got some sand in the bottom of the moat. And we've dry brushed all the rubble. We've dry brushed the bottom of the stand. All I've got to do is dry brush the cobblestones in there on that little space there. And it's coming on a treat. I've put some tufts of grass in a few places, not too many. But I feel there would have been 1 or 2. Right, so the next stage, to give all the wooden posts, the drawbridge, a coat of Agrat's Earthshade. See if 1 is enough. And we'll get do the same on the chains. We'll get them weathered up a bit rust looking in places. And then we'll dry brush the cobblestones. And then I believe we can start picking out the figures. The knights. Start picking them out to paint. And I've decided I can put another 2 dead knights on the scene. I'll just show you where. There you go. I quickly paused it and put them in place. I can have 1 on the rubble pile. I'll stick a couple of arrows in his back. I can have 1 in the moat, who obviously died trying to climb out up the rubble. I don't know whether to put an arrow in his back or not. And then with the standard in place, that'll be 6 knights. That'll look good. Let's just put the standard in place. There we go, the standard bearer standing in the archway. The last surviving member. Brilliant. Right, let's crack on. Well, I've now started painting the men. I've blocked in the dark silver, which is Lead Belcher by Citadel Paints, and I've decided to paint them purple with the white infill amongst the clothing, and give them a sky blue flag, which means the 2 shields I put on the diorama will be sky blue and purple with a gold trim. Will make them look nice but worn as well. So yeah, we're getting on well. All we've got left to do now is the leggings and the shirts under the purple on the arms. Then we can give them all a newland wash, and then we can dry brush the highlights and highlight. Then when we've done that, we can do the flesh features, the face and hands, and bring that all to life. But yeah, I'm pleased with how things are going. The base is looking good. I've managed to stain the wooden drawbridge and the posts. That's all done, and I've weathered the chain. So back in a little while after the next step, which is, by the way, to wait for these to dry so I can give them a newland oil wash, drink a nice big mug of tea, and dunk of food chocolate digestives. See you in a little while. Well, quick look at the base. Excuse me. I've just dressed the moat with some foliage. I've stained the wood, stained the chains, put some little extras in, like snails and pebbles in the moat. And apart from a few arrows here and there, that's the base actually almost complete, apart from pouring the resin in and tidying the sides up, obviously. But yeah, it's coming on well. My next stage now is to wait for the newland oil wash to dry on the miniatures, and then dry brush and highlight and do the facial details, and then just put everything on here, stick a few arrows here and there, and call it done. Not long now. Well, there we go then. I really cracked into it after tea, and yeah, we're almost there. I've added a couple of shields. I've painted the men and the standard. Just want to see if that'll focus so we can get a good look. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. So all I've got left to do now is pour the resin. It's another dead man in the moat. So the last thing to do now, before I go to bed this evening, will be pour the resin, and we'll check it in the morning. But I am fishing with Steve tomorrow, but we'll still check it in the morning. Brilliant. It's been a joy to do, something completely different. I've enjoyed every minute of it. Here it is then, all finished. I just steamed into it, really enjoyed painting it, and I just flowed through it and got it done. It wasn't a chore to get it done, I don't mean that. It was just a pure pleasure to work and paint on this. I enjoyed every minute of it. It was like when you were younger and you went to school and you couldn't wait to get home from school to do something that you really liked. And then when you were doing it, time was so short and it went so quickly. That's just how I felt with this. Really have enjoyed painting it and building it. It's come out a right treat. Got a body on the rubble by the shield. There's another one down in the moat. And we've got the standard bearer, the last man. Well happy. Now I just need to add one more thing onto the drawbridge. And that's a cave troll. And the cave troll is holding a casualty in his left hand. Now that cave troll came with the Lord of the Rings chess set, along with the 1 or 2 other more characters that you don't actually use in the chess set. I'm only filming this on my phone, you have to remember that. I am trying to keep it steady. But I'm in such a position at the moment, I'm shaking quite violently. The resin was pure joy. Normally I have problems with resin. It always leaks. This is the first resin pour I've ever done where it hasn't leaked or I've had no problems. There's some details on the bed of the moat, some shells, some pebbles, some chain, etc. I've just got to tidy up this little bit here on the back. And there it is, the last stand. Brilliant. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Take care and enjoy what you do. See you all later. Bye bye.